So if you've been on Twitter at all this year, you've definitely seen this thing before. This is the Phylina S450 and today I'm gonna do a full review on it, since that's about fucking time. But if you play any form of claw grip and you don't have the largest hands in the entire world, this might just be the single best budget mouse out there as of today. So first of all, I wanted to mention that the mouse actually was sent out to me by Mekanisk, so huge thanks for them for sending it out. As always, I will have links down in the description for anything I will mention in this video, and rest assured the fact that they sent it out for me will not change my opinion or the outcome of this review at all. Also, if you've been enjoying the content lately, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified for any of my upcoming reviews. Getting into the boring stuff, the mouse is 1K only. It comes with the normal 1K dongle included, obviously. Some extra skates as well. For the new batch, there are also some larger skates included, and more on that later. A USB-C to USB-A adapter, so you can plug that into your cable, that is included as well. And some horrible grips, but they might be improved for the new batch. And the mouse comes in at around 57 grams. When it comes to the QC, the sides are incredibly solid for me. The clicks aren't really the most premium feeling, but we will get into that later. Now, when it comes to the shape, this is a HDS clone. Side by side, directly compared to the HDS Plus in hand, it does feel like it is 0.5% larger. The shape really does feel like they did the bare minimum to not get into any copyright issues. I'd say that it is ever so slightly longer and ever so slightly wider in the back, but honestly, if you were to like change from one mouse to the other mid-game, you'd adapt within 5 or 10 seconds. And for you guys that have never had a HDS Plus before, the shape overall is center humped with like this claw focused hump in the back, but it's not shifted towards the rear end. But even though the hump is in the center, the extra width in the back does support any form of relaxed or aggressive claw grip very much. So if your hand size is around mine or smaller, so that would be 19 by 10 or probably even 20 by 10 or 20 by 11, I'd say that anybody could find their relaxed or aggressive claw grip on this mouse and be really happy with it. Of course, it isn't the perfect shape for everybody, but I do think that it is one of the most viable claw shapes out there. Since these sides aren't too flat, you also have enough flat space to pull off a good fingertip grip, but I wouldn't call this a fingertip grip mouse, but you can definitely pull it off. So if you're looking for a really budget-friendly mouse and want to play fingertip, I could see this being a great option at that specific price point. Getting into the coding, it's absolutely amazing on this mouse for the price tag that this mouse is at. I honestly prefer this coding way over my HDS Plus. It has this half matte, half glossy feeling finish to it, so it's not really an issue at all if you have dry hands or a cold environment. And since the temperatures in my environment have gone from 38 degrees in the summer to -5 degrees currently, I never had any issues gripping the mouse at all. I do think that as soon as your hand gets warm, it really sticks to your hand, but I could see the coating be an issue if you sweat a lot. Anyway, I'd say for the price point, it's the best coating I've ever experienced. The blue shell pink does in this mouse feel decent, but it's definitely not the best implementation I've seen. They are pretty light, certainly spammable, but as you can see, there definitely is some post-travel that you can go through. There is also some side-to-side wobble that is noticeable as well, but whenever I've been in-game with this thing, it has never annoyed me personally, but I would prefer a slightly more tactile or heavier implementation. The side buttons on my copy also have quite a lot of post-travel and some decent amount of pre-travel as well, so they remind me a lot of GPX side buttons. But then again, as soon as you get used to it in-game, it's not really an issue. The scroll click kind of feels like an office mouse, and it is a bit on the heavier side, but not too heavy. The scroll itself is actually not half bad. Not too heavy, not too light, but it does feel a bit cheap. Now, the skates on this thing are absolutely horrible. The skates that I have installed are actually aftermarket skates, and with the first batch of this mouse, it had these incredibly thin ridges where you couldn't put any dots inside of them at all. So what you had to do with this first batch was actually to sand down these ridges so that you could stick on aftermarket skates, because those stock skates were incredibly scratchy and just unusable, just like G-Wolf stock skates as well. But with the new batch, I now have confirmation that these ridges are gone, and there are also larger skates included in the box as well. But if you're changing your skates, I highly recommend to actually open up the mouse with these 2 screws in the back and then reposition the battery from the original position, which is actually up here on top of the PCB so that the entire bottom half is hollow, which makes the mouse pretty front heavy. So you can simply remove the battery and stick it onto the bottom of the base here. Or if you're really smart, you even do a battery mod with a small battery and stick it onto the top of the back shell. And then you screw it back together, put on some new skates. The skates that I put on here are the X-Ray Pad Jade Viper Mini skates. You can use any sort of Viper Mini skate, they fit absolutely perfectly, just like they would on the normal HDS Plus as well. And boom, you have a fucking decent HDS Plus clone with awesome skates on it without any major weight distribution issues. So the battery life on this thing is pretty freaking awesome. I've only had to charge it once so far, and also note that it is actually USB-C, unlike on the HDS Plus where it is actually still a micro USB. So I'd say you could easily use this for a week or two. And when it comes to 4K, there simply isn't any support yet. I don't think that there will be a 4K dongle anytime soon, since it is quite some time since the mouse released this year, but I could see them doing a new V2 with 4K support. When it comes to the price, sitting at around $30 to $40, depending on what mood AliExpress is in, I think that in this category, the mouse simply beats anything else. The only thing I can see competing against this thing right now is the VGN F1 MOBA, which is still sitting at a slightly higher price than the Phylina, and also spotting quite a different shape with some really aggressive comfort grooves. But if you want to see if the VGN F1 MOBA is for you, check out my review listed in the description as well. There also is the Deluxe M800 Ultra, which is a similar shape to the VGN, but it is also a bit more expensive, sitting at around 55 to 60 US dollars. And my review on this thing will also be up very soon. Now, when it comes to the software, I'm not even gonna record anything since it is incredibly bare bones, but I simply set the debounce time to 2 milliseconds without any issues, set my DPI to 1600 as always, and that really is about it. I'll make sure to list the software down in the description since it is actually quite hard to find as well. Now, when it comes to my personal opinion on this mouse, I honestly feel so comfortable with it since I am a HDS Plus main, and the upgraded coding really almost makes me wish that they did a 4K version that would be also very affordable so that I wouldn't have to recommend such an expensive mouse. At $30 to $35, this thing is absolutely fucking insane. I really do think that it is the most shocking mouse of this year, and if you are on a budget, you need to check out this thing. It is being completely slept on, and as you can see by the gameplay, I hit some absolutely amazing shots. Never have I ever been this comfortable with a $35 mouse. Now to the conclusion, who is this mouse for? If you're on a budget and don't know which mouse to get this. If you play aggressive, hybrid, or Lex Claw, you need to check out this thing if you haven't found a mouse that is comfortable for you yet, or if you haven't tried the HDS Plus shape. And if you've never tried a HDS Plus because it is too expensive for you, the Phylina is what you need. I could also see it being a viable option for fingertip grip if you need something really cheap and solid with a great coating especially, but this is definitely more of a claw focused shape. If you're looking for a premium mouse with 4K support and really premium feeling clicks that are nice implemented, this is not for you. I also wouldn't recommend this mouse to anybody who doesn't feel comfortable modding a mouse, and that includes changing skates and opening it up to reposition the battery. You could be fine with the improper weight balancing that comes stock, and considering it being so affordable, it's not that bad, but I would highly recommend modding it. Also make sure that you get the latest batch. I will include a link where I'm sure that it is 100% the new batch that you will get, because if you get the first batch like I have, you will need to sand the base. Well, that's about it for this video. I really do think that this is the best budget mouse of 2023. I hope that this video will get a lot of people's attention, since I get so many requests for budget mice because people simply can't afford premium price tags. And I also already can see the comments under this video saying that they would rather spend $120 for something premium instead of getting a cheap mouse every year. But in my personal opinion, that is an L take, since many people simply forget how many countries there are in this world that simply can't afford premium mice. I quite literally can't remember the amount of times people have appreciated me bringing to life the PK Control, for example, because it is the best affordable pad and they wouldn't be able to have such an amazing experience with anything that costs upwards of 30 to 40 US dollars. Other than that, that's about it for this video. Peace out.
Yo, we're sucking dick.
You're damn right.